In 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord marked the beginning of the American Revolution, leading to the eventual independence of the United States. However, the British colonies to the north, which would become Canada, remained loyal to Britain and are still part of the Commonwealth of Nations today. Yet, this narrative oversimplifies the complex relationship between Canada and Britain. In 1837, after years of discontent with oligarchical rule, Canada saw open conflict in what are now known as the Canadian Rebellions of 1837 and 1838. These uprisings, although different from the American Revolution, forced the British government to re-evaluate its administration of Canada, eventually leading to the formation of the modern Canadian nation. The roots of this conflict trace back to 1791 when the British Parliament passed the Constitutional Act, replacing the Quebec Act of 1774. This new act divided Quebec into two provinces: Upper Canada, now Southern Ontario, and Lower Canada, now Southern Quebec. The division was based on their locations along the St. Lawrence River. The act aimed to address the needs of thousands of United Empire Loyalists who had fled the rebellious American colonies. It encouraged settlement in Upper Canada by providing English law and institutions, while Lower Canada retained French civil law and privileges for the Roman Catholic Church. The Act also allocated land grants to support the Church of England and, later, the Church of Scotland, though these were often sold off for the benefit of these churches. The Act established representative government in both provinces by creating elected legislative assemblies, but real power remained with an appointed legislative council and governor-general, who could veto any legislation. This system was designed to prevent colonists from gaining too much power, with a council composed mostly of the British aristocracy and a few wealthy French speakers willing to align with British interests. Tensions grew as two parties emerged in Lower Canada, one British, known as the Chateau clique, and one French. The Chateau clique sought to assimilate the French-speaking population into British culture and law. In Upper Canada, political power was held by the Family Compact, a group of wealthy British families who controlled political, economic, and judicial matters. In Lower Canada, Louis-Joseph Papineau, a French landowner and assemblyman, led the opposition against the British bureaucracy. He advocated for an entirely elected government, reflecting the majority French population's desires. In January 1832, Montreal newspapers criticized the Legislative Council, leading to the arrest of the editors. Later that year, a riot in Montreal over an election resulted in fatalities without any arrests, exacerbating tensions. Economic and medical crises further fueled unrest. The closure of the Bank of the United States in 1832, the Panic of 1837, and disease outbreaks such as cholera severely impacted Canada. The government's failure to address these issues and the arrival of disease-carrying immigrants only heightened discontent. Papineau's 92 resolutions, presented to the Assembly in January 1834, demanded significant reforms but were ignored by the British authorities. By 1837, the situation had deteriorated. Governor Archibald Aitchison, 2nd Earl of Gosford, tried to address grievances by appointing more French officials and seeking compromise, but conflict was imminent. Papineau, who had become cautious, hesitated to push for armed rebellion, leading to divisions within the movement. On November 6, 1837, members of the Sons of Liberty clashed with Loyalists, and Papineau fled to the United States. In Upper Canada, William Lyon Mackenzie, a Scottish-born reformer and Toronto's first mayor, led his own rebellion. His efforts to rally support culminated in a brief but unsuccessful uprising. Mackenzie and his supporters, who had declared the Republic of Canada on Navy Island, were soon defeated by British forces. Mackenzie was later arrested in the United States for violating the Neutrality Act but was pardoned. Despite the rebellion's failure, it led to significant changes. The Durham Report of 1839 recommended responsible government and the union of Upper and Lower Canada, which resulted in the Act of Union 1840. This act created the province of Canada, setting the stage for future reforms and the eventual Confederation of Canada on July 1, 1867, a date now celebrated as Canada Day. Quebec honors the Patriots each year on National Patriots Day in May, and Papineau is remembered as a key figure in Canadian history. His homes are designated National Historic Sites, and he was named a National Historic Person in 1937. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Trendwise Chronicles. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share with friends. Good luck.